Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance, and today's tool talk is going to be how do you organize your organizers. I have lots of these organizers. I'm sure many of you do. You probably have them of a different brand and you store fasteners and all sorts of things in those. I have lots of them here at my office. I have more of these organizers in my garage at my house. I have these here. I have more here, more on other shelves, different places. And these aren't my Packout organizers. I have Packout organizers that I keep in my truck. These are the ones that Milwaukee has had for a while. They don't interlock together in the way that the Packout system does. They do have latches that cause them to interlock. But I just always have used organizers, and the typical mindset is to put like things in the organizer as far as screws and fasteners and things like that. Like if I've got Tapcons, I'm gonna fill one up with Tapcons. I'm gonna fill one up with drywall screws. I'm gonna fill one up with wire nuts, plumbing supplies, whatever it is. That's probably how you have yours set up, and I've got a lot of mine set up that same way. But over the last couple of years, I've kind of found that it's more efficient for me to set some up in this way. And I'm not going to go through every organizer because this would be a 30-minute long video. I'm going to pick out I've just grabbed 3 off of the floor down there. I'm going to go through these. And what I want to recommend to you is if you're a person who does a lot of different things, but you use a lot of different supplies to accomplish this one thing that you do quite often. For instance, this one here I have is called my drop ceiling organizer. So if I'm going to install a drop ceiling, there's several things that I'm going to need to accomplish that. Sometimes I'm going to need my little clips to hold the ceiling grid in place while I screw it or while I level it off or whatever it is to keep it square. I might need some drywall screws to put the wall mold into the drywall. Here where I work primarily, you've seen some of my videos, it's primarily solid concrete building. Sometimes I'm gonna need Tapcons to attach that wall mold. I need clips to tie my wire off to the concrete ceiling or whatever it might be. Lags to tie the wire off to the studs if it's something that's got rafters. I have different kind of, whether it's for metal, the same type of things. I've got rivets. I've got small screws that I use to put my wall mold together, along with the drill bit or the screw head that I need to do that. Certain tools that I might need to accomplish that job. I'm gonna need some snips. I'm gonna need some lineman's pliers. I'm gonna need a tape measure. I'm gonna need jet line, all sorts of things. Well, if I keep all my organizers to where I have all the Tapcons in one, I've got all the drywall screws in one, I've got something else in one, I'm gonna have to go to 5, 6 organizers to get all the things that I'm gonna need to accomplish just this one job. So even though I do have an organizer that is just Tapcons, I still keep these Tapcons in this organizer as well. So if I'm going to do a drop ceiling, all I've got to do is grab this one bin, and it's got everything that I'm possibly going to need to be able to do that. Another thing that I have is I have an electrical organizer that's just for MC cable. If I'm installing electric and I'm using MC, of course that takes different things than Romex. With Romex, I'm going to need staples and things like that, and with MC, I'm going to need these clips. I've got these saddle ends to put on for the saddle connectors to be able to put these in boxes. The snap ends, I really like these if I'm putting it in a place that I'm not going to have to access later. I really don't like it when people use these on light fixtures, and especially in drop-in lights, something that you're going to need to change later, and people use these. That's a big no-no in my opinion. I know some people do it. Wire nuts. I've got the bushings to put in, which for some reason I find that most people don't use these, and I don't know why, because they give them to you. I have ground pigtails, because when I'm dealing with MC, I'm always dealing with metal boxes, and it's very often I find that people do not ground their metal boxes, so I make sure I have some of these with me. I've got the self-tapping drill bits so that in case I get into a box that doesn't have a spot for me to put a pigtail, I've got that there. I've got Wagos, I've got electrical tape, all these different things. Again,
I also have a wire nut organizer. But if I was going to install MC cable and I just had a wire nut organizer, I just had a MC cable connector organizer, I had, different things, I'd have to take 2 or 3 organizers with me in order to achieve that job. Whereas right now, if I know I'm going to install MC cable, I grab this one organizer and it's going to have everything in it that I'm going to need. I even keep some tools like a plug tester. I've also got a conduit reamer and a step drill bit. I have other spade drill bits for if I've got to drill through some studs. I don't have to wonder, do I have every bit that I'm going to need with me to install MC cable? So what I'm trying to say is, think about efficiency wise. I think the best use for an organizer like this is, what can I put in this to make it to where I can grab this and go and get the job done. Another one I'm going to share with you, this one is my door install. So anytime I'm going to do something with door, it could be door install, it could be door repair, could be adding a lock, just putting in a door slab. This is the only tote I've got to grab. I've got shims here to put into hinges in case I've got a door that's out of whack and I just need to adjust it a little bit. I keep trim screws of different sizes. I used to always use a 15 gauge nailer. I sold my Ridgid one. I'm leaning towards buying that new Gen 2 Milwaukee one. But in the meantime, before that has came out, I've just started going back using trim screws, and I found that I actually kind of prefer that, so I don't know that I will buy that 15 gauge nailer. I keep toothpicks so that if I've got a stripped out screw and I need to fix that, I can use that. I keep door latch install kit to where I can, or door knob install kit to where I can drill the hole and set that in the right location. Here's a strike plate to where you can use a router and route that out. These things work great, by the way. They're really cheap. I keep some shims in here. I keep an oscillating tool blade in here so that if I've got my oscillating tool with me to cut these shims off and I didn't have a blade, I've got one in here. Here's the Hinge template jig by Ryobi. And again, these are some of the few things of Ryobi, but as cheap as these are, I think this thing is like 20 bucks or something like that. These work really well for routing out hinges and the strike or the latch. And then I also have this version where you don't have to use a router. You can just take and hammer this and it ends up being a template guide for your latch as well. I keep some chisels in here, the hole saw for the lock set kit. I keep a centering drill bit. Here's a bit for all my trim screws. I keep screws for the satin nickel hinges, which is primarily what all I put in. Just again, the idea is, what do I need to install a door, or what do I need to work on a door? I'm going to put it in this organizer, and then now I know whenever I'm going to install a door, I don't have to remember, oh, I need to make sure I take some shims with me. I got to take some trim screws with me. I might need some toothpicks. I don't know. I might have to do something to shim out the hinges. I might need a centering drill bit, and sit there and go around to 15 different places to get that. And yeah, it makes me to have to buy some doubles of some things. I have to buy, for instance, the tap cons. I've got tap cons in my door or in my ceiling install kit. I've got tap cons in a tap con bin. I've got tap cons in an electrical bin. I might have tap cons in 5 different places of the same size, but it saves me from having to think, what all do I need? And then I'm not going to have to make that extra trip back to my truck because I forgot something. So again, it's just a different way of looking at organizers. To me, it makes me more efficient, and it makes me to where I can just grab one thing and go. I don't have to carry as many things. I don't have to remember as many things. So I don't know how you guys organize your organizers. And again, I also have some that are the way that I talked about at the beginning, where I have just wire nuts in one. And what I'll do is I'll use that one to replenish the stock in my job specific ones whenever I need it. So for instance, I might have a whole bin that's nothing but trim screws. And then if I'm running low on trim screws in my door one, then I'll go get some out of that bin and replenish this organizer. So again, this is what makes me most efficient, and I could show you organizer after organizer, but all of you guys have different jobs out there. You do different things. So me showing you what's in mine is probably not going to be that helpful, but it's just the principle and the mindset behind how can I use an organizer to best be most efficient and to best serve me in the task that I have that I'm going to accomplish. And again, I think the best way to look at it is not to put maybe specific similar things in with one another. Instead, think about the jobs that you do on a daily basis. What all things do I need to accomplish that? And let me put that into one of these, and that will make me more efficient. But how do you organize your organizers? Is there something that you do that's a little bit different than the normal? Share that in the comments below. Especially thankful for all you guys that have been subscribing. I think we're getting close to 850. We're nearing my 1,000 goal. I want to thank each and every one of you who have subscribed. And if you haven't yet, make sure you do so, and make sure you like this video if you like it. But again, with all my tool talks, guys, I want to hear the comments from you. How do you organize your organizers? All my other tool talks, how do you clean your tools? How do you do these things? It's not, I'm showing you how I do it and how it's beneficial to me, but we can all learn from one another. And I want to know how you guys do it. How do you do the things that you do? And maybe you've got some kind of setup that would make us all more efficient, and we can grow better as a community, learn from each other, and do those things. So hope that you guys have a blessed day. I hope this is useful to you, and I'll see you guys on the next video.